The Roman Empire didn't just collapse overnight. It bled out slowly, like a giant too proud to admit it was dying. For centuries, people have blamed barbarians, but what if I told you Rome actually destroyed itself from within? Greed, corruption, and even a plumbing? Yes, plumbing played a role. Let's uncover how the greatest empire in history truly fell. First, the economy. Rome's wealth came from conquest, but when expansion stopped, so did the money. Imagine an empire addicted to looting neighbors. Then suddenly the neighbors are gone. Rome was left broke, taxes soared, farmers abandoned fields, and the rich, they hoarded gold while the poor starved. Here's the twist. Roman coins became so worthless that soldiers refused payment. An empire without loyal soldiers is an empire without walls. And walls, oh, they mattered. Because beyond those walls, a storm was brewing. Enter the Goths, Vandals, and Huns. They weren't just mindless raiders, they were desperate migrants, fleeing other wars. Rome let them in, but treated them like slaves. The result? Rebellion inside Rome's own borders. Picture this: starving Goths, once allies, storming Roman cities because Rome wouldn't feed them. That's not invasion, that's betrayal. And when the Huns, led by Attila, thundered across Europe, even Rome trembled. But Attila wasn't the final blow. No, the empire still had one deadly weakness left to reveal. Rome had 80 emperors in just 100 years. Most died not in bed, but with daggers in their backs. Civil wars drained armies. Generals fought each other more than Rome's enemies. Sound familiar? Imagine the U.S. changing presidents every few months, except with assassinations. That was Rome's reality. And while leaders fought for crowns, the empire's infrastructure literally crumbled. Roman aqueducts once brought fresh water, but by the end, pipes carried poison. Lead poisoning slowly weakened the people. Gladiator games once united Rome, but as morale dropped, crowds demanded bloodier shows, even executions of criminals for sport. Bread and circuses keep the people distracted while the empire rotted underneath. It's chilling, because isn't that how some societies today numb their problems? Finally, in 476 AD, a boy emperor named Romulus Augustulus was dethroned. The Roman Empire was no more. But here's the haunting truth. Rome didn't really fall. It transformed into kingdoms, into the church, into the world we live in today. Its ruins whisper a warning. No empire, no matter how powerful, is immune to collapse. And here's the terrifying question. If Rome could fall, what about us? Rome's armies once seemed unstoppable, but what happens when your soldiers no longer believe in your cause? Many Roman legions weren't Roman at all. They were mercenaries, foreigners fighting for gold, not loyalty. And when the gold dried up, so did their loyalty. Imagine renting an army, and then running out of cash. Suddenly, Rome's greatest defense became its greatest risk. Soldiers could be bought, bribed, or turn against you. But money wasn't the only poison. Rome's very water carried slow death. Lead pipes and aqueducts delivered poison to every home. The empire literally sickened itself, generation by generation. Historians debate how much damage this caused, but even the idea feels symbolic. A mighty empire crumbling from within, and isn't that the fate of all great powers? Not sudden defeat, but slow, unnoticed rot. As Rome weakened, a new power rose, Christianity. For centuries, emperors ruled by fear of Jupiter and Mars. But the people turned to a new faith, one that promised hope. Christianity didn't just replace old gods. It challenged Rome's very identity. Suddenly, loyalty was divided, to the empire or to the church. A split that shook Rome's foundation, and then came the split. Rome divided into East and West. The East, Byzantium, grew rich and endured for another 1,000 years. But the West, it withered, weak, corrupt, vulnerable. A house divided cannot stand, and Rome became two houses with different destinies. Desperate emperors tried quick fixes, raising taxes, hiring more mercenaries, bribing enemies with gold. But those were bandages on a dying giant. The heartbeat slowed. The walls cracked. And finally, in 476 AD, the unthinkable happened. Rome's emperor was just a boy, and he was cast aside. The Roman Empire was gone. Or was it? Because Rome didn't vanish. It transformed. Its laws shape our justice systems. Its languages birthed Italian, Spanish, French. Its architecture still towers. Its roads still guide. Its ideas still whisper. Rome lives on, in us. But here's the haunting lesson. No empire, no matter how mighty, is safe. Rome shows us that collapse doesn't come with a bang. It comes slowly, through greed, division, distraction. Look around. Bread and circuses haven't gone away. They've just changed form. The question isn't whether civilizations fall, it's whether we're wise enough to see it coming. So, what do you think? Are we following Rome's path? Or carving a different future? History breathes. It warns. And if you want more lessons that connect yesterday to today, subscribe now. Because sometimes, the only way to survive tomorrow is to remember how yesterday collapsed.